Good day everyone, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Sunday the 23rd of February 2020, and it's the weekly analysis for Euro, Cable and Aussie dollar for the 4th week of February. And as you can see, for all the major pairs against the US dollar, they recovered on Friday as both Eurozone and the UK had better than expected PMI figures, while the later that night in US, the US PMI figures were worse than expected. So some recovery against the US dollar, which has been strengthening throughout the week. That's why all the other pairs have been weakening. Let's start off with the Euro, and it has managed to find support right at the weekly S1 pivot level, just around the 107.86 area, climbed through the previous support, now resistance, and finally returned to the 10 SMA after a long while, or after a couple of weeks already. And this was a welcome boost to the euro dollar, which has been suffering for quite a while, and recovered back above the 108 as well as the 162 Fib extension. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. So there's a spinning top for the week, and there could be some retracement back up to the 138 Fib extension, and still just below the 109 level, so which is going to be a key resistance. Alright, so let's mark this as the intermediate support now, as well as this key area now, which is definitely support. So for next week, there's a couple of news for the Eurozone with German business climate index, and on Friday there's the German preliminary CPI figure. In between, there's not much news, so it will be dependent on the US news. So intermediate support is going to be around the 108.20 to 25 zone, and the key resistance will start off with the 108.80, heading towards the 109 round figure level. Alright, that's for the euro, but it is still exposed with further weakness. If this recovery is not sufficient, there's still potential further breakdown towards the downside, towards 107.20 zone. Right, so it needs to really break out above the 109 level to be at least in the short term a bit more of a recovery. Alright, let's take a look at the cable. Cable has managed to find support right at the 200 EMA to probably to it's at 128.50 and hit a low of 128.49, so within a pip, and managed to recover on Friday back up through the intermediate resistance zone and to retest the return and revert back to the 10 SMA, but he has yet to climb back up above the 130 round figure level, so that's going to be a key resistance zone that it needs to break through so that it can continue further recovery, and as well as this downtrend line, which will be a key resistance as well. So we'll see what the new weekly pivots are for next week, as it's likely going to dip slightly lower below 130, and support now is definitely at the 200 EMA, which will be an intermediate support zone, and resistance right at the 130 level, where there's a whole host of resistance, as well as the 55 EMA just below the 130 level. There is the downtrend line just above the 130. So this coming week there's no UK news, so it's all based on any Euro related news, and also trade talks between the UK and the Eurozone, European Union. Alright, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, after falling below the lower triangle trend line and almost hitting the weekly S3 pivot level, managed to rebound slightly, and we'll see whether it's able to recover further back to the previous swing low of last year at the 0.6671 area. We can actually change this fib to show this reversal move, and it did almost align with the weekly S3 pivot as well, which is at the 162 fib extension. So for now there could be some consolidation back up to the 138 fib extension, and you'll need to climb further back up above the 0.6670 zone. So we can mark the key support zone here. Which is around the 0.6580 to 85 area. Alright, this week there's only one economic news with the private capital expenditure on Thursday, and the rest of the week is no further news, or also exposed to any US related news, as well as China's struggles with the COVID-19 virus. Alright, so it's going to be neutral to bearish for now. and it's going to be difficult to recover from this without any positive fundamental news or any positive news out of China. Alright, so meanwhile, do check out my other videos on spot gold and dollar yen, as well as the weekly Ichimoku analysis, and we'll follow up on Wednesday for midweek analysis. Meanwhile, have a good trading week and cheers.